Hey, it's Patty. How are you? Oh, Brady, you're very nice. Make sure my sound's on. Can you tell me? I was listening through my headphones earlier. Can you hear me, Brady? Oh, good. Oh, good. So Bling sent me a text saying this video was up, but she sent it through. She sent me through Shaming of Jay, and it was very casino-like at the time. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But can you believe this? Like, my first thing. Let me pause it. It's gonna be slow because this computer's slow. How calm is she? I mean, I hate saying I apologize, but I'm still shocked. How calm is she? She looks so calm. So, as I've stated before, she's Xanax for a long way. Xanax would not stop you if you were being arrested for murder or from being upset. Like, I've had a Xanax or two in my life from surgeries and such. I was arrested in 2006 for hacking a computer, which is why I'm going to school, by the way, to do it legally. And I was in an absolute, unadulterated, huge panic. Now, the police were nice to me. It was actually sheriff's deputies. Everyone was really nice to me. They knew it was a divorce thing, and they were very kind. But on the inside and on the outside, you're still shaking. Like you're shaking. Like you can't even believe this is happening. Do you see any shaking with her? This woman is not shaking. You would poop your pants. I knew it was coming. She knows it's coming. I was only in handcuffs from my sister-in-law dropped me off. So I was allowed to turn myself in. From the parking lot into the jail I was handcuffed, but still, you are literally, if she was on Ambien, it would be worse. Ambien makes you crazy. But she's literally calm, people, like calm. Harvey's like, you've made a mistake, sir. You've made a mistake. I'm like, you made a mistake? Come on, people. I'm going to put on the captions. Like, what do you mean you've made a mistake? Let me turn this up. Give it to your husband. Because once you're alive and county yells, they're going to make you pull that. First of all, Rashbaum's the one who told her to get on the plane. And so he tells her, you can get on the plane. And yet she still wants to call him. Why wouldn't, does anyone know something I don't know? Why would you call the guy that told you to get on the plane that gets you arrested? Rhymes with Rad Bash Rom. Am I wrong? Didn't Rashbaum say she could get on the plane? And then you go to get on the plane, and then you're arrested, but the first person you want to call is Rashbaum. I have never in my life seen such poor lawyering. Sue me. I mean, to God, this is incredible. They stopped them. They cleared the area, and you can see later. The question is, Laura. I just say Laura because it's my friend and she listens through earpods, right? So Tennis Girl says, where are all the other people that it would have been boarding? They must have cleared the area. They did. They stopped people from going in. But if you haven't watched it, when you do watch it, and they take her through the airport, no one's noticing it, that it's Grandma Gotti. Everyone's like, oh, it's just a person getting arrested. Oh my God. No one has their phone out. Because we were all like, for weeks, we've been like, no one took a video. Literally, it doesn't appear like anyone took a video. No one knew who she was. It's absolutely fascinating. He told her she would get arrested at the airport. Oh, she could. That's true. She could. But why? I mean, he's still, I just don't understand why she's using rash bomb at all. So I would be completely like, I'm not using them. Look what he did to my kid. I don't know. I don't think these people, look at them. They don't have the sense God gave two turnips. They really don't. Harvey doesn't look anything like Harvey did. He's half the man. He doesn't look 80 though. I didn't think he looked 80. And she is as calm as can be. Neither have the sense God gave a turnip. She's like, True Lifestyle says, Harvey was acting like a helpless old man. Hi, True Lifestyles. I love your videos, by the way. Who needs her help to get him home. So pathetic. Well, he is 79 and a half years old. He really is 79 and a half years old. I mean, my husband's 65, and you could see between 63, he'll be 66. There is a huge change. It's huge in that it's very, but he definitely looks like athletic, like he's had a walk or two. He's very calm. So I've been watching people's throats, you know, see when they breathe. They're very calm people. He's like rolling his eyes. He's like giving her a kiss, which is I keep saying it, like you all should take a shot for every time I say unbelievable, because this is unbelievable. I've seen a lot of arrests. I can't believe how nice airport security was to her. Pat Sanford's just hanging, like he's just hands behind his back, doing extremely professional. I don't think they treated Charlie this way. I think Charlie, right, they took him out. Like the doors were beat in and the windows. Not here. Everybody was so nice, so polite. Hey, Tennis. You're so happy this came out. Thought it might be yours. Oh, well, Florida's very good about it. If they don't need it for something in the court case that way, then they're gonna let it out. The judge would have had to stop it. There is no common sense, Brady. No common sense. Not like a turnip. I have seen a lot of arrests. I watch a lot of true crime like you all do. And I've been arrested. I'm not calm, but I understand the outcome of your actions. These people are weirdly calm. Brady says she's 78. You'd be beside yourself. And no, nothing else. When he goes to kiss her, it's the last time. You would think, although I don't think it's processing in the man's head. I'm floored by the whole thing. I was watching it. I was talking to Bling. I don't know if she's coming on. I was talking to Bling on the phone. She's like, are you going to do live? I'm like, no. And then I said, I'm like 20 minutes into it. I'm like, I have to. Because I can't shut up in my own mind. So I don't think she was surprised at all. I think she absolutely knew Tampa Lisa. I think she says, I don't think Donna was surprised at all. She knew it was coming. I think absolutely they knew it was coming. I don't see relief, but it's close to relief, if that makes sense. True Lifestyle says, yeah, they're acting very calm. It's weirdly, oddly calm. How many arrests have we watched, whether it's cops, 48 Hours, any of those police shows where this is the behavior? It's unbelievable. Lisbeth says, I would have loved to see Charlie's arrest. That I can't believe has not come out, because they beat down the doors, right? I mean, they took the battering ram through his house. The kiss was stupid. Well, they've been married a long time. Wendy doesn't look like her father. That's all I have to say about that. I don't think she recognized Pat Sanford, Texas says, or the bump guy. Didn't even watch the trial. Oh, ooh, true. They were very easy on Donna, Veronica. She didn't cause a scene and make everything worse. No, she's weirdly calm. And maybe Rashbaum coached her. I don't know. He was like, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you are, be very calm. They let her, they took her rings. They talked to her about her medication. Well, he did hug her, kind of. He can't really hug her because one guy's got one arm and she's whinging. She's like, but she was trying to get a ring off. They committed murder and they were very calm. I know, that's why I think it's so bizarre. Donna could have made a scene, Veronica says, and they would have regressively restrained her and she would claim mistreatment. True. Resignation's a great word, Lisbeth. It's not relief. It's just, I can't believe I didn't make it down the jetway. Yeah, doesn't she say something about Xanax in her? She talks about all her medications. Crime Prano, like Soprano, says we also have to remember they both take Xanax. And what is up with that? Is it still that easy to get Xanax in South Florida? Because it's not easy to get it in Leon County. Not here. He did. He took out her earrings, Brady. I don't even know that my husband could take my earrings out. Charlie looks like his pops. Neither is handsome. Well, it's hard to be handsome when you've got so much evilness going on in there. There is a body cam for Chuckles' arrest. We just haven't seen it. So maybe Morgan & Morgan, who's decided to sponsor this body cam, could put up some money for Law and Crime to get the video of that. Shauna Gardner asked for her meds in her body cam arrest video too. I know. I think it's like, no offense to anyone, toilet paper during COVID. Like, where's my pills? Like, you're trying to grasp for whatever. Like, you're not going to camp. You're not going to need your pills. In fact, they're going to let you go cold turkey, which isn't going to be pretty. He could have written those, true, but it's really hard to write them for yourself and not go to jail. They don't like that. They don't like it when you write for yourself, your prescriptions. You usually have to have another doctor do it. Brady says they told her if she took her meds to jail, they would take them and throw them away. True. Because they have to. They can't give it to you. Because for a variety of reasons, first of all, your doctor there, when you're in jail, you're now a product of the government, so that doctor has nothing to do with you. And second of all, they don't know if you have them laced with anything. So even if a nurse were to open the bottle, they could be laced and they could hurt the medical staff. True Crime says, thank you for going live. Well, I have a little errand to run later tonight. maybe. So I thought, I'll do my homework in the morning. Yeah, you could have a concierge doc, and I'm sure they have friends that write them prescriptions. Apparently they have a lot of friends, more than we ever knew. Charlie prescribed Xanax for Katie. He probably had a buddy write them for his parents. Well, I think that was part of what Odom, that Jerry Odom, that friend of his, and I think he was on Mentor Lawyer, STS, something like that. Jerry Odom, where Katie had worked. I think there was some trouble in Paradise with his license too. I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, of course. They had other MDs. That's what I'm saying. His friend was what? What did Jerry Odom, was he a dermatologist or something? I think it's what he was. She was, see, I haven't even gotten that far, True Lifestyles, chugging water. I haven't even gotten that far. Right? I would love to know why we have not seen her. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe because they're holding it for her arrest, when she literally says nothing, and why am I getting in the car with you? Hey, Georgia, we haven't really done anything except to be completely shocked at this video. True Crime says it's cold right now, Patty, going to be 20 something. I know, but I am running an errand for someone so they don't have to walk in the cold because they have to walk home. So if he needs a ride, I'm standing by to give the man a ride. So that's why I'm at the office. And Roscoe's with my husband. But I'm going to turn it on. I'll turn it on. It's so hard with two cameras on this virtual. It's called a virtual machine. So StreamYard's a virtual machine. And it just slows everything down. Okay. She doesn't even flinch when they go to take off her ring. She's like, here's my hand, hold it, and she doesn't even flinch her hand. The woman's hand didn't move. He says you're making a mistake. Which mistake is he making? The fact that they waited this long to arrest her? The fact that it's been 10 years? What mistake is actually being made, Harvey? What mistake, dude? It doesn't look like any damn mistake. Hi, Joan. Hi, Joan. How are you? True Lifestyle says she's a contortionist like Wendy. Can you take it off? Right there, that's my husband. I am literally in cuffs. And Christopher is like, honey, can you take it off? You're literally in cuffs. Honey. Oh my God, this is hysterical.
I will. I will. All right. Yes.
Who was she saying? Whoa, 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 whoa. Who did she say? Take an Uber, go home. Hold on, what did she say?
Yes.
What does she say? What does she say? Does anyone hear it? Take it easy. Okay. True Crime says take it easy. I thought she was saying check with someone, so I wasn't quite sure.
Can you take it off, please? I will. I will. I will. Yes. Anything else in person?
It's coming, sweetheart. I got it. It's coming. Just a second.
I'm sorry.
It's in my.
Harvey, my husband would be like pacing back and forth, freaking out. And Harvey's like, look at, Harvey has a hand in his pocket. Heck.
Yeah.
It's in my purse.
Yeah. Sure.
It's over there.
Okay, I give you the hospital.
What's up? It's in the blue. It's in the blue.
The address on your license is correct.
Yes.
She needs what
She needs all her pills.
If I take them here, what will happen is when you go there, your hospital costs you down. So when you go to there, you will meet the nurse and the doctor, and then they'll work until you are in the hospital to give you whatever you need.
Yes, I don't have this with me. I know it's. I have a.
Is it multiple or is it just one or two?
No, there's a bag of medication in here. Is that what you're asking?
No, I know. I was just trying to find out if you like one or two. Yeah, one or two, then maybe we can take the name down.
So wait a second. Did that police officer just say maybe she could take them now?
Is it multiple or is it just one or two?
No, there's a bag of medication in here. Is that what you're asking?
No, I know. I was just trying to find out if you like one or two. Yeah, one or two, then maybe we can take the name down.
Oh, take the names down. Okay. Yeah, he's saying that she could take the names down. I see that. Thanks, Brady, because I'm like, what? Actually, when I worked at as a nurse here at this jail in Leon County, Steven says she'll never get that class of drugs again. We had a woman. She was a young girl. She was an Asian girl who was a classic pianist and just stabbed the hell out of her mother. I mean, brutally stabbed her. I think it was like a Gypsy Rose situation. And she was on severe psychotic drugs. She was on a lot of scheduled drugs just to keep her sane for trial.
That's fine.
be fine. This is crazy. Give me a kiss. I can't believe the police, I don't know how I feel about it, are allowing them to continue to kiss. Completely shocked. Federal crime, I mean, I'm just completely shocked that they allowed him to continue to touch her. I can't believe it. True crime. Here's the longest perp walk ever. Nobody with a phone. No one with a phone. Does anyone notice the music? It's just, I feel like it's an Alice in Wonderland thing. Veronica, I got to hand it. I'm agreeing with you. I think there has never been another arrest I've ever seen or watched on TV or Law and Order or Cops or 48 Hours or whatever that live police thing that used to be here in Tallahassee is no longer here. Allow them to continue to touch and kiss. Never, ever, ever have I seen that. Brady's giving us the DM version of Xanax. Gives you brain fog, an inability to focus, thirst. No, she's not getting the privileges in jail moment of impact. However, it is ridiculous that in everywhere else in the world, he would not be able to reach over and kiss her, ever. So it's only 9 o'clock, right? 1958. No, it's only right before 8 o'clock. Where are all the people in the Miami airport? Is it because she's an international? It's 2 minutes to 8 p.m. and there's like no one in the airport. Well, he does seem to love her. It's hard to tell if he was involved, but he was going to be in with her. So I think he's involved. I didn't in the beginning, PR5. I did not think so. But now there's no doubt in my mind. The look on his face. He was just like, oy vey. Well, what are we doing here? Like, why are we in this mess? I mean, that's to what I interpret it as. I could be wrong. Loss of interest in Xanax. Well, apparently. Where are all the people in the Miami airport? And I understood in the jetway, but that plane looked like it was going to be freaking empty. Chronic dry mouth is listed first. Interesting. Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Well, I haven't flown international in about 20 years. So, except military, which doesn't count because we had privilege. Richard says she was going to Dubai an international flight. Wendy and Harvey will make. Notice she wanted to call her attorney and she never called her daughter. Never called her daughter once. Let's watch her walk. She's so calm. So unbelievable.
Around from here, and then it gets over for the video.
Hey, Antonio. Good to be with you too. It is shocking. I see a woman, and then I just thought, as you wrote that, I just thought, well, she's had 10 years. She's had 10 years to come to terms with whatever. So that may be part of it. It's not like it just happened yesterday. So I had to incorporate that into my thinking about her behavior. She had 10 years. But it's still only 8 o'clock, and you would think the airport would be a little bit more busy. She wasn't this calm in the courtroom now. Richard says her daughter was an attorney too, and probably the last person she would call. Yeah, should be the last person she would call. But her daughter is never, well, I don't even think she's written a contract, let alone, except in school, let alone be a criminal attorney. We are well, thank you. It's quite chilly here. How cold is it? Because that jail's going to be cold for her right now when you think 36. It's 36 degrees here in Tallahassee. Moment of Impact says she knew that they may not make it on the flight. Chloe says when she saw Jay was live with the video, she was so geeked. They don't have elevators in me. moment, they wouldn't have arrested her at all as yet if she didn't get on a plane. So it's like chicken egg. Because remember, they had to rush the arrest warrant through because they didn't have the grand jury back. Shabby clothes for a wealthy couple. I know, right? I still think it's all on paper. Let's see.
Okay, we want to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this body cam video. I mean, I think it's pretty clear from the body cams that we cover that it's not always safe out there. When you're hurt, it can be confusing. It can be scary. You don't really know where to turn. Well, Morgan & Morgan is actually the largest injury law firm in America. At a time when you already have so much to think about, they're going to make it super easy for you. They've completely modernized the process because you submit your claim, you sign contracts, you upload documents, you talk to your whole legal team all on your phone. That's it. An attorney is going to review your case in just 8 clicks. Also, they have 4,000 support staff that can help you too, which is just amazing to think about. And in terms of price, well, you only pay them if you win. There's no upfront fee. So if you're injured and you want to join the over 3 million people that call them every year, you can submit a claim at www.forthepeople.com/LCBodyCam or by dialing pound law. That's pound 529 on your phone.
Be careful with your head. I was in first. Reading. Great. Thank you. Yeah. All right, welcome.
Chloe, we do see the detective, and that's Pat Sanford. He is actually a federal investigator. He's the agent from the feds, from the FBI. Pat Sanford is his name. And that's who, when I figured out the short sale situation with Charlie, I couldn't find his email, so I just sent it to the closest FBI field office. Sanford said you were under the arrest for the murder of Dan Markel. Yeah, she is. Wait a second. Brady. What did you say? Rashbaum's going to be on Court TV on Friday. Oh, it's his moment in the sun. It's his moment in the sun, people. Oh, Antonio, you're a lot nicer than me. Holly says, thank you. Now question, how is it permitted for an attorney telling her to run? Well, he wasn't her attorney at the time. There's one thing. And she didn't have an arrest warrant, which I know people are like yelling at me about, but she was, that's why I don't know how they can use the consciousness of guilt thing. If she didn't have an arrest warrant till they show up in the jetway, how does that work? I just don't know. I don't know the semantics or the mechanics of the arrest. And again, chicken and egg. You didn't have a grand jury come back, so you had to have that within 3 days of serving her with an arrest warrant for murder in the state of Florida. You have to have a grand jury, so they get the grand jury post-arrest. And everyone on Court TV and Law and Crime everywhere says that they can use her being on the jetway is consciousness of guilt. Well, I think they can use her phone calls as consciousness of guilt. I don't think they need the jetway. However, I don't understand how that works. I hope that someone in law enforcement could answer my question. Here's where she's asking for some water. I've not seen this part. I stopped watching it when they brought her out to the car. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to have to find my 151 friends to come on here. So TS says, I think the kindest thing Rashprom can do for Donna is recommend a good murder or defense attorney. Well, he got one in Alex Morris, who's our local attorney and who has served on, I wouldn't say high profile cases like this, but he has served on quite a few murder cases. And I was going to, over the weekend, talk about a couple of the cases that Alex has represented. Attorney Morris, or Ram. He's Ram Lawyer. R for Robert, R. Alex Morris, Ram. Can't make it up. Tennis Girl says, I think Rashi doing a massive campaign, it'll work about as well as double extortion. What has he got? What does he have to work with? And I believe, and I could be wrong, I don't see the invoices, that Rashbaum is taking this at a very, very discounted rate. And I also believe Alex Morris is taking this at a discounted rate because they can get PR and get more business out of it. Look, she's wearing Hoka shoes. She's wearing Hoka sneakers. Hoka could sponsor this. Doing press before a trial, Veronica says, seems unethical. Unfortunately, it isn't. I mean, they all do it anymore. They're all talking about how their people are innocent until proven guilty. And Murdaugh's people did it. Didn't change the outcome. Didn't change the outcome at all. He's the only one, Chloe. She says, did you see the guy in the red shirt in the airport watching them? He was in the glass in the hallway, and then he got on his phone. He was the only one that was like, I might want to upload this to get more views on my TikTok. Rashbaum needs to start plotting his career moves. Yeah, maybe he's tired of being a partner. She does shake her head. Did you watch her eyes? I don't know. Maybe I can go back. I just don't want to lose my feed. But at some point in here, you got to watch her eyes. Watch your eyes. It's the only amount of anxiety I saw in her was right there. Her eyes shift from left to right, and she's really starting to breathe deep. It's the only bit of anxiety I saw in the woman. It's very weird. Well, apparently they're not thinking too much because they're still in South Florida, probably chilling at the pool. This whole family, I've never seen anything like it. She's a pretty tough old gal. TS says, I've never seen cuffs go on and a female not cry. I would. Well, I was arrested and I did not cry, but I sure did shake. Like, you're shaking. I don't even know, like, it's almost like dehydration shake. If you've ever been super dehydrated and you're shaking, she's not even shaking. Drinking tons of water, asking for it. I think this is, oh, I just had a thought. I think this is like testing her boundaries right now, where she's asking for the AC and the water. I think it's almost, it's not the right word. It's not autonomic response, but it's a response like when you put your kids in timeout and they test their boundaries. That's what I feel like she's doing. She's testing her boundaries with the police because they're being so polite. And she knows full well and good what happened to Charlie when he got arrested. Did you see his hair? She knows exactly what happened to him. There her eyes go. Watch her eyes. She's breathing really deep. There she goes. Yeah, she's nodding. There goes her eyebrows. See it go up? Like now she's getting it. She is slow. Has it been revealed why Rashpam didn't represent her at arraignment? He wasn't her attorney at the time. What's her face was her attorney. Aaron Hernandez didn't, well, he kind of did get off, but he still died because he hung himself. But that's. Yeah, it was still that Marcella. No, what was her name? Marisol, who embarrassed herself. It was sad. But that's why Rashpam was present in the courtroom, but he sat in the gallery with the rest of us. Jose Baez is busy. I think he has a big case right now. Rashpam's going on STS this Thursday. We'll have to watch. No, you don't. T says she has the exact same Hoka shoes. Is that how you pronounce it? Hoka? Harvey looks like he's lost a pound or two in the last year. He looked quite thin, but he had definitely had the moves going, poor guy. Rashpam knew the indictment was coming that Wednesday. He warned them of an imminent indictment. They made sudden plans. They bought one-way tickets, the acts of a guilty person. Thank you, Woodall. Thank you. Ram's client in the Hoyt Burge case got more time than anyone, including the gunman. Her name was Paige or something. Yes, her name was Paige Vowell, Vowell. And she is in Lowell, Lowell, with Catherine McBanois. They're in the same prison, which is near Ocala. She never thought she'd be jailed. Those eyes see it. Like when you watch those eyes, they go back and forth like that. She's trying not to show emotion because she's such a cold witch, but well, yeah, she tells her husband to go home, get an Uber, take it easy. I'm sorry. Yeah, what else? Settling affairs, then running, being secretive. Rashbaum warned them about the grand jury. Thank you for confirming that, because I always felt like attorneys knew when those grand juries, even though they're in secret, they kind of know it's time to be getting arrested, like your time is up. She's had 10 years to deal with this. 10 years. 10. Yeah, I think she was more, not resolute, but I don't know, it's an R word, not rebellious, but it's another word. She was resigned for sure, but she looked, what is the word? Almost defiant. She kind of looked defiant. But when he's going to take her hand, to take her ring off, she didn't, my nails look good today, by the way. She didn't even look like even flinch. She didn't even flinch with the nail. The hands. That is the weakest female search I've ever seen in my life. Is this what you wanted to see? True Crime says zoom in, freeze on the hand. Her hands are big for a woman as small as she is. I wear a size 11, so I get the man hand. I am, like, my hands were in that Seinfeld episode. I have very large hands. Her hands are massive. Woodall says that STS is doing PR for the Adelsons. Well, wasn't Joel a reporter to begin with? Like, wasn't he a news reporter? Wasn't that his gig? Does anyone know? I thought that's what he did. I thought he was on or part of the news or a producer on the news, something like that. So I don't know what everyone's motives are in any of this Adelson stuff. I know that some of these people, and they're entitled to do it, they work very hard at this YouTube stuff, make a lot of money on these videos. They make a lot. I had no idea until people were telling me how much money they make. So you have to, I don't find it off-putting that they do both sides. I know even some YouTube podcasters that I've spoken to, like on the phone, are off-put by both sides, but I think there's a story to tell. Do I want to hear it from Rashbaum? No. But I think there's a story to tell on the Adelsons, but I do not believe I want to hear it from Rashbaum. I mean, I am curious, so I would probably listen, but that's it. I would take it as, again, these people are about as bright as a turnip. I see no glorification in listening to Rashbaum, but I don't think he's talented enough to be on TV and show the golden mind of this clearly evil human being. I mean, you can't look at this video for the last 16 minutes and 38 seconds and not see how rotten of a human being she is. She is not at all, but I'm innocent, but what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like nothing. There is nothing coming out of her mouth. He was a journalist. Yeah. So I think his, I think it's whatever perspective, like I hate the POV, but it's whatever your perspective is coming from. My perspective is I'm not an attorney. I'm not a reporter. I'm a real estate agent who's really nosy. And that's it. I'm really, really nosy. It's made me a really good real estate agent, but I'm nosy. So I don't have a side other than the side of Dan Markel. And I mean, if Ruth Markel gave her a blessing, it's fine. Give your blessing. I don't know that she needed to give a blessing. He's going to go on some show. Someone's going to, have him on. He's not going to come on mine because I've called him names. Why would I don't call someone, like, how do I say it? I don't diminish them by calling them a name and then say, well, you come on my show. It would never happen. Like, I wouldn't even want to talk to. I have no desire to say, hey, tell me, other than money, why the hell you did this? Other than money. That would be my only question to him. If there is anything other than money, obviously you have a right to a defense, but you have a right to a good defense. So other than money, Rashbaum, why are you doing this? Because I don't think you provided a good defense for any of the family members. So it's just me. They must have, Veronica, taken an Uber to the airport. And I was curious about that in the beginning. I thought, did Wendy drop them off? Well, now we know that's probably not true. Because she's not even talking to them. I think she's had a head start. I think the whole dress, her cleavage, being in a religious place of worship was a code. I think everything she does is a code. I think she's, ugh. And I understand Justice for Dan came out and said, don't make her a meme or make the religious experience a meme. I won't make it a meme, but you can't tell me that you gave a crap about a Jewish upbringing when you treated this man the way you did. So I don't think you get to have both sides.
How long we're gonna sit here, how long.
789 Tao says, wonder if Tim set it up for STS. Well, all the defense attorneys appear to know each other at this point. It's a pretty tight clique, I think.
We're going to sit here. So the next place is what, the warrant? What did you say the next place was?
What happened is the warrant that they have for me is for that Leon County.
When did they issue a warrant?
So what happened is we have to take to our warrant to get information to get into, and then after I get into it, then we can take it to the winner to get.
Okay, listen, I didn't know there was a warrant. How would I know that?
Well, we wouldn't have been able to take you if there was something in place.
So aren't they supposed to inform me if there was a warrant?
I don't know the detail.
So when they arrested her, they said, we're here to arrest you for, I didn't hear anybody read her rights. Did anyone hear them read her rights? I don't know if the camera was on at that point, but she acts like she'd never heard this before. Well, that's sad. I mean, I don't take it seriously enough to. I mean, I think I love that people are so passionate about the Adelsons. I think I am too. I know my friends are too. Not every friend, I can't believe how many people don't follow this case. Like, I just was on the phone this morning with a friend and she's going through a horrible divorce. And I'm like, you need to watch this case. She's like, what case? She lives right here in Tallahassee. She had no idea. No idea about the case. Oh, how could you not know? I don't think it's a good idea, but it's not going to help him. Did it help the Murdaughs? No, it's not going to help him.
They were supposed to inform you of whatever, and then because it's a county line, that's how we became involved.
So that's when you can see her fillers. I've never had fillers. Can someone tell me how quickly it takes for the fillers to dissipate in your face? Does anyone know? Right here. Does anyone know how long it takes for them to dissipate in your face, fillers, or do they move? What happens? 2 to 5 years? My God, then she lost a ton of weight. She's lost a lot of weight then, if that's the case, because look at them now, and then you see her when she's at Leon County in her court. It's completely different face. Her texture of her skin changed, everything. She's also had her lips done. So yes, it does, Dimmy, prove you can get a fair jury in Tallahassee. A Facebook friend of mine, her name's Michelle, posted in our community group called Living Tallahassee, and she posted the video within the group, and very few likes. I'm telling you, very few people are following this case, which, you know, they got their lives to live, right? Whatever they choose. They're following Florida State, which is a bigger story here in town right now.
Okay, brother. Thank you, man. I'll see you. Okay, my QTA water, transporting a white female, ready for study. 6003. Gonna roll out the windows. It's raining once we exit, okay?
She wanted the windows down. I forget I have people watching me. She wanted the windows down. Oh my God, they did. Oh my God. she asked for them. Where is it, Chloe? Chloe asked. She asked for them to put the windows down, and he said, "We can't. It's raining." Bling, I sent you a text message. I sent you a text message because I started watching it, and I finished my hacking class. Like it's a secret. I finished my hacking class quickly, and I was like, "This is too good. This is too good. This is like." So thank you, Bling, for sending it. Like, she is my new best friend in my head. She complains about the heat, the hoodie zipper, the windows, the water. She is crazy. She is crazy. No, they're not going to put the windows down, woman. God. These police are too polite to her. They must have been told. They had to have been told. Oh, here it comes. There's the bench. Oh.
Rules and regulations.
Man. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, Charlie's arrest was in the middle of the night by SWAT. They bust down his door. Sorry about that.
So consumed.
There's Nancy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She's a very polite lifer, isn't she? Because now she's going to be a lifer. Very polite. I need to get back to your comments. The space between her top lip and her nose is very wide. You know, I've never had face work done. I've had microblading done. But I think that the space between my nose and upper lip is unusually long. I'm just saying. It's been a pet peeve of mine. I was wondering if there was without hurting, was there a way to shorten it? Because I think it's very long. He was in the middle of the night, the SWAT, and she gets, would you like some water? I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen any polite, they have Harvey taking off her jewelry. They let Harvey kiss her. Why are they letting, I gotta take my glasses off. I'm looking bug-eyed. They let Harvey kiss her. He's reaching over and kissing her. Now, I know that they've sealed the gangway area, but that doesn't mean they can't pull out a stun, some like, I know, I'm like too much into crime, but a 3D printed stun gun. This is just the oddest arrest for a murderer with 3 charges. No guns that you knew about. They could 3D print a weapon. Remember, there's ghost guns that you can make that don't show up. Oh, wow. Well, this was very interesting. This was a really interesting 26 minutes that I took an hour and 18 to go through. It's really odd. Well, if the area is too short, then you have a real gummy smile. Oh, well, thank you, Bling. But I really have always been like, I'm going to have to look at body ratios. It's like one notch on your finger deep, but maybe it's just optical illusion. Donna may not make one mention of this can't be true. I'm innocent. She didn't make one I'm innocent. The only person Harvey said, you're making a mistake. You're making 2 mistakes. We don't know what those were. Oh, yeah, she went full cold turkey. Full cold turkey. Oh, well, thank you, T. I'm not looking for comments. I'm just like, I'm not looking for compliments. I'm really not. But it has always been a thing for me. Like, it's 2 fingers wide. That area above the lip lengthens as we age. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. Oh, I think that is my other question. So they didn't have where is it? It went, and now I think it's gone. Harvey was relieved they weren't arresting him. SO says, question, why didn't they even take him for questioning? Have they ever questioned Harvey? Do we know? Why did they never, ever, ever stop and say, hey, we need to talk to you before you leave? Why was there no questioning of Harvey Adelson? I know I'm not a defense attorney, but I would really want to know, if I were a defense attorney, why you didn't question him. I knew our ears and our nose grew, but God, I didn't know this was changing. But how do you know? I wouldn't do fillers or Botox. Botox is temporary, but it's botulism. I know it's a derivative, but it still is botulism, and it just can't get past me. So, because I would, if I were going to get it, it would be right there. And your eyebrows move to the upper lip and the chin. You guys are fun. You guys are really fun. No, seriously, why has no one questioned this man? Why has there been no interview of Harvey Adelson? Why? Oh, you're a physician. Oh, thanks, T. Why were they never questioned? And why was Harvey? Harvey's right there. Bring him in. Take him in, Mr. Sanford. Take him in. Hey, Mr. Sanford, what do you know about this? Mr. Sanford, Where were you when Lewis was putting an owl up on Instagram? Anybody? He doesn't have to, but they could try. They could say, hey. Oh, well, that's true. That's true, because they had already said that they were going to plead the fifth when they wanted him to come up here for the proffer. Because remember, they offered Harvey and Donna limited use immunity like they offered Wendy, and they wouldn't take him up on it. My favorite part is too, I felt like I was in Alice in Wonderland watching that. The music and the guy, the only one was the guy in the red sweatshirt that looked like he was even remotely interested in people being arrested. There are two different, I think there's only two kinds of people. The people who give it, like, are nosy, and then the people who are like, I'm just minding my own business. I'm trying to get to England. I'm not getting involved. I think Harvey definitely knew and was complicit. I can't begin to think that that wasn't the case at this point. She did ask if she could speak with her lawyer. Jay says they share a dang email address. Donna's not organizing murders without him knowing about it. Because they both know they are guilty. Harvey delivered the money with Donna to Charlie to pay the killers. That is accurate. Harvey was in the house when she's washing the money. Harvey is a dentist and didn't say, hey, honey, maybe we shouldn't be washing money. Well, he drove them along the turnpike, right? He drove them along the turnpike. I heard that guy was I don't know what WWE up for sale. I was surprised too that more people didn't try and film a photographer. So she's asleep now because she gets up so early. But I have a client, she's a landlord for me who works for the FAA at the Miami airport, and I'm going to ask her if she knew anything or somebody said anything. She never mentioned it to me. I can't either. And I think an important thing, Bling, is someone mentioned her luggage. Were they allowing Harvey to take her luggage back home? That's what I said. Richard, I asked the same question. Why didn't they give her a Miranda rights? They probably were going to later. She didn't say anything, so only if she spoke and offered did they have to say that you have the right to remain silent. But they don't have to do that till later. I do believe that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a reporter. I'm not anything except a real estate agent in Tallahassee, Florida. Harvey sold Katie for $1,200. Now on her proffer, Katie says it was $1,700, but she put a different number on the bill of sale, which, you know, I sold my dad's Nissan, and it was, you know, to a friend of a friend, so we didn't put the full bill of sale on there. He brought home the gloves from the office. Yep, the latex gloves. She said it in her proffer. She said he brought the work gloves. Now, she supposedly worked in a dental office. Does she not know they're not work gloves, that they're latex gloves or hospital gloves, or I don't know. Charlie, Donna, and Harvey all met at the poolside at the con. They decided Donna would call the undercover and recorded the car. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely do it. Was the washing of the money to remove fingerprints? Yes. Because in Catherine's proffer, if you watch AA Legal Focus, who got the video from Mentor Lawyer, and I'm deciphering it because I'm going through, I was telling Bling today, I went through the entire transcript of her proffer, which is 43 pages long. And what I'm doing is taking out all of the bad grammar, the likes, the ums, the you knows, the it's okay. I don't, where, she repeats everything. I mean, it's thousands of words that are repeated nonsensically. And I wonder, why does the police even understand what she's saying? So I started cleaning it up. I'm cleaning up, taking out the commentary from AA Legal Focus, taking out the commentary or the questions from the investigators who were asking for the proffer. But in the proffer, she clearly says, he said, so it won't come back to him, that the money would not come back to him. So Elizabeth says, I think it's because people don't read newspapers anymore. They just search the story net for stories that they're interested in. That's why no one knows about it. I do too. Unless you watch local news, and frankly, there haven't been a lot locally from the news about this case. I mean, they might have a blip on it. But my friend, Katie Kaplan, who moved to Idaho, got more playtime. Her move to leave here and go to another news station got more playtime, the Adelson thing. That's what I said in the beginning. Why did Donna not ask to speak to Wendy? She didn't say, Harvey, call Wendy. She didn't. Moment of Impact says he loves STS and would love the Adelson story. So I have to tell you, I mean, STS was very kind to me and let me, during the Charlie hearing or court case, let me on their show, even though I screwed it up and I got locked in a church basement, oddly. They were so nice to me. Joel was very, very nice to me. So that's how I feel about them. They do their thing. We all, like, for whatever reason, Fancy is no longer on YouTube. I don't know why. She hasn't told me. Mentor Lawyer is probably one of my favorites. And he is a defense lawyer, of course, but I think he does a lot of white collar kind of defense as well. He likes appeals. It seems like he mentions being an appellate attorney a couple times. AA Legal Focus is another favorite of mine. I watch True Lifestyles. I watch Pretty Lies and Alibis. I watch as much as I can to try and figure out everyone else's take. And is mine even different? Because if mine's not different, there's no point in doing this, right? But mine could be different, so that's why I do it. But I want to hear other people's takes. Do I want to hear Rashbaum's take? No, because I already know what the answer is going to be. There's no point. There's no point in listening to him. I heard him in the court. The money was moldy. Can you even imagine? Again, none of these people had the sense God gave a turnout. No, not this woman who's now going to be a lifer, not Harvey. How did they get through law school? How did they get through dental school? How did they get through high school? She was a kindergarten teacher. If she involved with Alex scamming, maybe she was the chicken that took out Maggie and Paul. No ways, chicken. I don't even know what that means. But Murdaugh. I'm sorry. She is maddening, but I was telling Bling today on the phone, it's a 43-page transcript that I have down, just taking out the obvious filler words, down to 31 pages. She is literally talking blah, blah, blah for 13 pages. And it makes no sense. Latex gloves, just me, Joe. If I had a prize to give you, you would get it. You would get it for sure. Latex gloves. I'm going to screenshot this. Hold on. Because I'll forget it and I won't remember, and you deserve a prize. I don't know where you're located, but I'm getting you a prize because that was amazing. It was. If you watched Charlie's court case, they talk about the ping on the phone of Donna's phone near Charlie's house, which was on the turnpike, right? So it's the Florida Turnpike. And the Florida Turnpike doesn't come the whole way up to Tallahassee, unfortunately. It only kind of goes from Leesburg off of 75, and it stretches into Miami. So apparently Charlie's home on I think it's Tortugas, is, well, either one, Whale Harbor or Tortugas. It's not far from the turnpike. And they were implying, prosecution was implying, that that's when Donna called Charlie and said, we're nearby. And Charlie's like, it's not being delivered then. They're just letting me know they're nearby. Because Charlie thinks we don't have the sense God gave it to her. It is a domino effect that Georgia offers. Wendy and Harvey will definitely be held accountable. She was poofy. You know what she reminded me of when she was little was Wendy was like Laura Ingalls. Melissa, what was her name? I love Little House on the Prairie, but I can't remember her name now. She hasn't called Wendy once, Bling. Wendy hasn't blocked her calls. Did they figure out? I'm going to have to order it. I'm going to have to order those phone calls to see who's blocking the call, and I can reverse search the phone numbers. Donna knew Wendy would be pissed off at her for getting arrested. Well, you know what? I'm pissed when my kids get a speeding ticket or something, you know? But I still love my kids. Thank God they're not murderers. But like my son calls today. He drives a semi, and he was in Tennessee. And he's like, Mom, the black ice could kill me. And I'm like, yeah, it could, James. Why are you doing that? You know, James, he was on here. So he's driving a semi. He goes, but we got off the road and the trailer's a little bit off the highway. So I had to get a wrecker out here to lift the trailer out. I'm like, is the trailer okay? Yeah, it's okay. Did I want to get that call? No. Am I glad my son called me? 100%. So even though your daughter's going to be upset you got arrested, why would you not call your daughter? Doesn't make sense to me. She said call, and he said, I'm calling right now. Then she said an Uber. Yeah, she said call an Uber. He wasn't. I think at first he was going to call the attorney. I think her first question was call the attorney. Harvey is in the background of the jail calls, and Donna's talking about fleeing to Vietnam. Yeah. I wonder if Wendy blocked Donna's calls. That's what I would need to know. I'm going to have to order them. It takes forever for the county to deliver them. Isn't the drive to the crime scene one of the biggest ways to indict? I believe so. I believe. And even the people who were sitting next to me in the Melissa Gilbert, thank you. I was thinking Melissa Sue Anderson, who was her sister. You know, she played Mary. Even in the gallery, there was a young girl, really pretty girl. And she wanted to be a defense attorney until this case. Now she thought she'd be a prosecution attorney. And she said that you could see the look on her face. When she saw that graphic of Wendy's drive from Aqua Ridge all the way down Trescott to the liquor store and then back up. I mean, we live here. We know that's not a shortcut. You can tell us it's blue to Sunday. Doesn't mean it's Sunday or that it's blue. We know that because we live here. And the look on her face was like, oh my God. That's when she realized he wasn't innocent. Because she said she's a young girl. In the beginning, she said she was on the fence until she saw that. Okay, so I like pretty much all traditional YouTube creators on this case. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has their own take. I agree. I like the New Zealand guy too. I do. I watch him, but I can't remember the name. He's like Crazy something. Isn't it Crazy? Isn't that his name? Crazy something something. I think it's interesting just because he's not here. Joe needs them for Jill to change his pull-ups. True. I think we would all love to see Charlie flip on Wendy. I do too. Well, my girlfriend, who's an attorney here in town, she does accidents, personal injury. She said in her mind she could hear Donna completely proclaim her innocence because she was saving her daughter from what she felt like was a person who was abusive, a husband who was not respectful of her. And this is not, of course, Patty's opinion. It would be, you know, Wendy and Donna's opinion that Daniel was not nice to her. And in this case, my attorney friend, who I would love for her to do this with me, I wonder if she will. I'm gonna ask her. She's a beautiful woman. She's my age. She is an attorney. She's quite famous here, and she does personal injury. And we were at a New Year's party together, and she said, I think that when you look at it from her perspective, Donna's, I was saving my daughter. I was like, well, doesn't mean it's accurate. It just means that's her perspective. Oh, yeah, he doesn't like Jeff Lee. I like Jeff Lacoste, so they didn't show any Donna calls to Wendy on the list. Well, then I'm dying to know who is blocking her calls. One thing I did learn that Sigfredo did it to get Katie back. It's why her and Charlie broke up soon after. Where did you learn this, Chloe? Yeah, I'm of opinion where I could have like 5 people on here. It's like, remember the old party lines? Well, probably not. Most of you remember. But I'm just at the end of those party line years, and like, what is it? AOL. Remember those AOL chat rooms? That's what I feel like we're doing. Is like an AOL old school chat room, which I think is why it's so fun for me. I could have 2 people in here. Hundreds, it means nothing. 2 is great. And it's the same with my Facebook group. It's growing. That's fantastic. But I could turn it off tomorrow and I would still be a happy woman. It's fine. One way or the other. As long as we're helping people, we'll continue it. If we're not helping people, what's the point? And I want to only help people in town. I'm a very community-driven woman on this desk. If I don't have to go out and hand out waters to someone, I'm good. I don't want to stand there. I don't want to hand water at a 5K. I want to help people, help their business grow, that kind of stuff. The Markells seem such fine people. They really do seem very graceful and full of they want the best for those boys. And maybe if those boys weren't a part of this, they would be completely different in how they're handling it. But right now, I see nothing but grace from the Markells. Call an Uber, I know. That would be my husband. He would be like, I'm going to call an Uber. He did say that to me not so long ago. His car, he had a flat tire, and he has OnStar. So I was like, I'll handle the OnStar. And he was like, I'll just call an Uber. I love him, but I'm here hacking computers, and the man doesn't know how to work an app. It's funny. Harvey got an Uber home. That was my one big curiosity was how did Harvey get home? And when he got home, what the hell did he do? I bet he bawled, but he bawled like a baby. Charlie had 0 money at his house after he hired Hitman. He said, at least that's smart. That's why Donna had the money and delivered that night. Dollar drop was before Katie got there to double extort. Yep. Got me to the point I want to sell and all that stuff trolling me. I don't know what that means. Katie and Fancy did the drive and show how far away. It's very far. I was going to take it the other day, but it really irritates me with all the speed bumps, so I didn't. I like to go to, right now at that corner of Thomasville and Benton is a really good Goodwill bookstore, so I love going in there when I'm killing time in between appointments. You know, T, I don't think they got a lot. I mean, they have more than I do, right? But I think when we were sitting in that gallery and we were thinking about I got to take this off. And we were thinking about what attorneys they could afford. I think we were off. I think they're mortgaged to the hilt. I think they're mortgaged and mortgaged and mortgaged. Everything is mortgaged. They own nothing outright. Not one investment property. They have a few. Not one condo. Nothing is free and clear. So there's only so much money they can keep taking. Seems like a regular cab. I don't know. I would take a cab in Miami before I got an Uber. I think it'd be more expensive to take an Uber in Miami. You know, she's from Pennsylvania. Well, she lives in Pennsylvania. She lives not too far from where I'm from. I met her at Tim Jansen's office when I got my book signed by Ruth Markel. I don't know who Bruce Smirnoff is. I was told that Alex Morris, in a case, it was in 2008 that I'm going to go over this weekend with you all. He charged $250,000 to the family, and that was in 2008. $250,000. So you figure like $400,000. Will he take payments? I don't know. But he's not the lead. Rashbaum's the lead, according to attorney Carl Steinbeck. When Wendy went by the house, she said, "Our house." I thought that was odd. I think that was intentional. I mean, because she had to pretend like remember how she talked about, I had to deal with it in my divorce. I had to deal with it in my divorce. And that's why I drive by. I just drive by to I just had to process my divorce. Really, lady? Which bookstore, Patty? It is the Goodwill store. It's on the corner. I like all Goodwill. I like bookstores. And you can't see it in here, but we have a lot of books. Scott, my business partner, uses them in staging. So I go to the Goodwill bookstore at the corner of Thomasville Road and Benton, which is kind of catty corner to that liquor store. You live in Buffalo and it's not a shortcut. It is not a shortcut. I mean, Shannon is, so that's also a local case here, and I think she's screwed. So her family can pay whatever they want. I think she's screwed. Donna and Harvey own the condo. Well, it's mortgaged. They own the condo that they're in now. It is not leased. They were leasing a condo on 100. It was, what did I say? It was like 100. It was 100 South Point Boulevard in Miami Beach, right after Dan. It was like in between. It was in that crux, right before he was murdered. Remember, Jeff Lacoste said she was going home to clear out her childhood bedroom. And I was like, what? And that was their house in Coral Springs. They sold that house for $449,000. Then they go to rent a condo in Miami Beach, which was gorgeous. And that was condo TH something, because I can't really say because YouTube will take it off. And they rented that for $13,000 a month. $13,000 a month. So they went from a $449,000 home that was basically paid for to a $13,000 a month condo when he was killed. And my question is, was that part of the lure to get her down to South Florida? It was like, we'll take care of him. We'll take care of Daniel. And you can live in this beautiful condo, baby. Just like Pretty Woman. They put her up in a gorgeous condo, except they all live there. Remember, she lived with her parents for a couple of years. And then they moved down to a different condo, so money must have been running out. They're paying $13,000 a month. It was like a $2.5 million condo. So then they go to another condo for $7,000 a month, and they rent that for a few years. It wasn't until 2021 when what's-her-face Wendy, I'm going to call her that, what's-her-face Wendy buys her own condo in Miami Beach that they buy a condo. It wasn't until then. All that time, they were renting $13,000 a month. Oh, they're mortgaged to the max. Unfortunately, my video on YouTube was taken down because of, they called it cyber stalking and harassment, because I put up a spreadsheet of properties. Okay, so it's on Rumble. It's on Rumble as under Patty's Playhouse. And this weekend, I'm going to just put together the homes. Someone asked me to do like a Zillow thing. So I'm just going to put together photos of the homes, and I'm going to like put in Pig Latin or something, I guess, how much they were paying. But they were paying $13,000 a month. Okay, so a $449,000 condo, let's tell you. In 2014, that would have been about 449 times 6. They probably had a $2,600 mortgage, maybe, because they probably had it. So they probably, maybe they had like a $2,000 mortgage with taxes and like HOA dues. They went from a $2,000 mortgage to $13,000. That's a lot of difference. That's a big lifestyle difference. Something was going on there. I think we all know what it was. That they decided, we're going to take everything we have and put it in this condo so we can live with Wendy and the boys at the beach. That's just my take. I know nothing about it. I am not a criminal defense attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a real estate broker. And to go from $2,000 a month to $13,000 a month in rent, when remember, Daddy Warbucks, Harvey, was being sued for doing bad teeth the whole time. Just saying. There's a big reason they went from $2,000 a month to $13,000. There is a motive there that I don't think Miss Georgia has touched on. Maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. But there is definitely a motive going on from that $2,000. Well, the mortgage, I mean, they owed about $300,000. So they make up, I'm going to go over it, but how much they owed and how much they sold it for. They sold it for $459,000. So in 2014, remember that's when he was killed. 2014, they sell it for $459,000. They were probably paying, they didn't owe $459,000. So but their payment was somewhere around $2,000 a month. Taxes, HOA dues, all of that makes sense because taxes are higher down there. Then you move it to a $13,000 a month rental. They never lived in Miami Beach until Dan was killed. They lived in Coral Springs. She says it right on the stand. Where did you grow up? Coral Springs. Are your parents wealthy? No, they aren't. Well, they certainly went into Hawk to sell the $13,000. So let's pretend, okay, you got the $200,000 difference. How many months does 200,000 into 13 last you? 15? It only lasts you 15 months. Just saying. Well, she is an attorney. She did have, hey Mona, on the Writer's Workshop BS, she states, our garage, an acrimonious divorce. She was valedictorian. She knows big words. Will Charlie's restitution hearing be streamed? I think that's not going to be. I don't think so. I know they moved that around, but I don't think it's going to be like a big amount of money. Someone can write a check, like write that in there. Julia says, I think they were staying in Dubai. Vietnam was a ruse. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think she doesn't speak Vietnamese. And the shopping, well, the shopping's good though when you think about it. It's a lot cheaper probably in Vietnam than it is there. They had to rent that condo. Wendy needed to find a new man. Well, they had to rent a condo because they didn't have that kind of money. He was a dentist. He wasn't a periodontist. He wasn't any of that. Yeah, they were getting $4,000, but still. Okay, so at 13, that's still $9,000. They were at 2. There's a $7,000 difference here. How long does $7,000 go into $200,000 of profit? I'm not good at math. 7. That's 28 months. Okay, so there's 2.5 years there. They are definitely mortgage poor. It is super sterile and lifeless, but look at Wendy. Wendy is. I think you said it there, Jay. Thank you, Julia. I try to be astute. $4,800 a month for Social Security for the boys, but they were going to private school. I mean, all of that adds up. Why was the cut, from your mouth to God's ears? They were horrible business people. They spent every cent they got. They're running cash deals. They're not paying taxes, allegedly. And it wasn't paid for. They took that money and then they propped it up into a rental for $13,000 a month. I can't imagine being, I don't know. I think we're all looking at from an innocent person's eyes and thinking, what the hell were you thinking? Instead of going, I go back to Cat Williams. You got to look at it from the eyes that they have, not the eyes we have, and we can't because we're not maniacal, like evil people. Maybe that's when Harvey sold the practice to Charlie, so he got a bunch of cash. That's what I wanted to look at. I wanted to go back and forth and see if there were any business paperwork I could find. That's the only thing I have left is the business LLCs and to see which one failed and which one went. The building they moved into was right across the street from the boys' school, but it's still $13,000. I'm driving to school. Will Chucky be charged up to the last penny he owes the state? Yeah, he'll be charged. And if he wants to get on the phone, he's going to have to pay it. The place they are living in now is across from this. Yeah, it is now, and they own this condo. Well, they don't own it. It's mortgaged to the hilt too. So last time I checked, it was worth about 1.2, and not too long ago he mortgaged it for $840, somewhere in there. So let me do 840 divided by 1,200. So 70%. So he only had 30% equity. Doesn't Charlie still owe $10,000 loans? I'm sure that was written off by the government. Right? She was definitely, but she knew the Florida Constitution. She knew that. No, she didn't, because she got corrected by Judge Everett. I gotta see if my man needs a ride. So this gentleman, oh, he hasn't responded. So I met a gentleman at my husband and I went to Slim Chickens for lunch because I'm trying to not eat, after a certain hour. And so we go early, like we're old, which we are. And this gentleman, he said he was going to walk home. It is like 22 degrees out. So I am driving the man home. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Wendy cashed in a $2 million ring to help with the condo. Was it worth $2 million? Has anyone been on to find out? I don't think they can. I think they're at the hundreds of thousands mark. They're not Shannon Gardner. Scammers and murder. They're horrible. They're horrible business people. I thought they would have a bunch of investment properties. They would be in REITs. I thought all of that. No. The rich folks that live like that do not have two nickels to rub together. Hey, Mona. There's a real estate agent I used to know in Santa Monica, and he always said the rich folks out there didn't have two nickels to rub together. Well, there's the two kinds. The kind that really have the money, the billionaires, and then there's the guys like I know that wear jeans and a flannel shirt and own 700 properties here in town. And you would never know, and they don't want you to know. It was a 2-carat diamond. Okay. The Adelsons sent kids to public school, or are we sure the school is private? I believe it was a private school. I think they tried, and there's so many rumors about the boys' school that I don't know. I really don't know. Jay says that's what got me. How do you not pay off your loans? But he said he was strategically not paying it off. Well, that's true. I mean, I carry debt. I carry a little bit of credit card debt just so my credit score will stay up, and I carry I keep my mortgage because otherwise I would have nothing to write off. And I have a truck payment, and I always buy a vehicle over 6,000 pounds. So as a business owner, we can write some of that off. If Donna is convicted, I'm not an accountant, by the way. Jewish day school, I thought so. If Donna is convicted, I bet she will flip on Wendy to save herself. You know? I wouldn't flip on my kid. You know, my kids and I, we've been through it back and forth. You know, we argue. There's 3 of them. There's 3 against 1 here. And we argue, but I would never flip on my kid. Ever. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you know. I don't know who taught him that running a loan shark business was good, or the pyramid schemes that he does. I have no idea, but it all comes to a halt, doesn't it? All the lies, all the scams, and it's been going on since God made man. So, I mean, it never stops, the craziness. Miso, how was Charlie able to make 3 to 4 millions when he's merely a periodontist? Because he was a periodontist. There's a big difference. And he was running like 14, 15 hours a day at different clinics. Cutting someone's gums, although I'm very glad I've never had to have that done, at least that I know of, is very expensive. And it seems like he was taking a lot of cash. Plus, you have to think the anesthesia, the office, you know, they're bilking probably Medicare. There was probably a lot of other ways that they made money on this. Bilking Medicare, allegedly. Charlie's still in that, he's still in that reception center because they can't find protective custody for it. I think it's funny. Charlie had a lot of LLCs. He had a lot of limited liability companies, so that'll give you an idea what Charlie had. Charlie had a limo company. Charlie had a health food company. Charlie had a lot of companies that made no money. And that's the challenge. Like, good business people that I follow do 1 or 2 things. Or they have a person to run their business. You cannot do, my line is, you can't ride 2 horses with 1 ass. You can't do 2, 3, 4, 5 things really, really well, right? You can't. You only have the same amount of time in the day. You have to have leverage. You have to have people to work for you. And Charlie wouldn't have paid anyone to work for him. He's going into protective custody. He should. He's about to get it. He did real estate investing, but Julia, if you go to that Rumble video, you will see they are slums. They are not nice properties. Not at all. It's not. I don't know the neighborhood, so I don't know if they're nice neighborhoods or not, but they look skank from the outside. She won't because she feels she does love those boys. I don't know that she'll do it or not. He was placing implants, Bling says, which probably were to $3,000 each in numerous practices. So he's doing implants. Did he do any Medicare work? Does anyone know if he was approved at the time? Sheila says, I don't care what I'm up against. I'm never snitching. It would have to be a cold day in hell if I would ever flip on my 3 sons. I wouldn't either. But I also wouldn't help him to commit murder. So there's that. He had no overhead, which is why he didn't pay tax. I mean, remember the bump? He thought it was the tax man coming. A lot of LLCs. Oh, an LLC is a limited liability company, and it's a way a lot of people use it. We all use it to but to limit our liability. And it's cheap. It's super cheap. It's like $125 in Florida to start a company. So, right, he had a steroid company, he had a health food company, he had a limo company. You know, he's just a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy. He wasn't a guy He's not Warren Buffett here, people. He's not investigating a company and does it really do well, and what days should we do it, and how much money should we invest, and where's our sign, and where's our retail space. He doesn't do any of that. He didn't do anything. He put a limo outside of Whale Harbor. That's what he did. Oh, Chloe, the Latin Kings. Yeah, the Latin Kings is why he gets it. Because you got to keep the government property alive, right? Roger says, why is Wendy so arrogant? Because she doesn't know what we know. She never thought her mother, watch her during the first 2 trials with Catherine. She didn't think her mother would ever get arrested. She says it. Dan did not get protected. That is true. But we all know that the criminals have more rights than the victims. Blinks. True Crime says you need to make a tote with 2 horses and 1 ass. You can't ride 2 horses with, yes, 2 horses with 1 ass. That's my line. I'm sure he was cash only. Medicare doesn't pay. But does it pay for cutting your gums? Does it pay for, what do they call it? Not gingivitis, but periodontal disease. Does it pay for that? I wonder what he paid those other offices. He had to give them a cut. He ripped off a lady for 20 grand in implants she didn't need. Shut up. Oh my God. La Belle drives to the Adelson rentals. Ugh. Oh, well, hey, Mona. It's not always bad. You just don't rent a $13,000 condo you can't afford. There are times I think I would have been I definitely would have been a condo live in a condo better than I would live in a single family home because of maintenance. It's so much. I just have, everything costs. His periodontal income was very high. How much do you have to do? Okay, so $1 million. You just say it's $1 million divided by 52. So 52 weeks a year, it's 19,000 divided by 3,000. He had to do 6.5 appointments at 3,000 a pop every week to make $1 million. So it's doable. Do I think Charlie would think Wendy differently if he knew about the hot mic where Donna said that Wendy never asked about him? Yeah. I don't think Charlie's going to protect Wendy. I think Donna will protect Wendy. I think if Charlie's smart, he's going to start singing. He's going to start singing about Catherine. He's going to start singing about Siegfried. I don't think he can. But I think he needs to start singing about that Catherine. Because I have a lot of Catherine is a lot guiltier than we all give her credit for. Just listen to her words. Go back and listen to that proffer. And then I'm going to show you that it's taken a long time because it's 43 pages. But go through that proffer, get all that gobbledygook filler words out of her face. She says it right there. I think for 100%, she's more guilty than all of them. I think she is a B. And I think she put Siegfried in this position, and she didn't know Lewis was going. And I think that's the problem right there. Because she had no idea there was going to be another guy in that car with Siegfried. Never knew. Likely. Knows Candy Company, too. She had no idea that Lewis was going to be with him, and that is where it all fell apart. She lost control. If Wendy gets arrested, will they call his current beau to testify? I don't know what that means. Medicare does pay for it. I thought it did. You're saying the way he was operating, he didn't want to deal insurance because it was strictly pay up front. Well, he'd have to fill out paperwork. And he wasn't to do that. So there is true. Medicare would pay for tooth extractions. I didn't know that. Yeah, they could do Ruth. I mean, Catherine talks about how he would do her teeth whitening. And she would pay for that. She would write checks to the office. That's what she said. They had a lot of complaints. So that's what I mean. Like, you're getting fined, you're getting suspended, you're being sued, and you're living in a $13,000 a month rental. They could have been on floor like 10. They didn't have to be at the top floor. Oh, I think Georgia Kappelman is extremely prepared. The hygienist was on STS and told the story. You know, is that the woman who showed her face in profile? Like, she didn't show her face? I don't know why she didn't show her face. Was the family involved? 100%. Allegedly, yes. That's what this whole thing, cups, playing cups, they're moving money, they're mortgaging, they're moving money, changing money. There's a different way to launder money besides put it in the actual washing machine. God. Oh my God. 150,000 a month. Can't even add that. There's $1.8 million. $1.8 million right there. 150,000 a month. I'm happy to make, well, I won't tell you, but I mean, a couple houses a month. I'm like, woo. It's like super. The condo collapsed at the beach of Miami a few years ago. Yes. And that's changed a lot of condos. It's about to change. So this month, all through April, the Florida legislature is in session and the whole condo thing's about to change. Watching you. Oh, I can't add. I'm sorry. I cannot add. That's funny. It's funny. Katie is already sentenced to life, but I get that. But everyone keeps asking, is there a way that she could be released for helping? She's never helped. She can't help. You know why she can't help? And I'm going to prove, I can't prove it, but I'm going to prove it with her own words. She can't help because she's the one. You can't change your story. They keep asking her in the proffer, can you tell us what Lewis said? Can you tell us what Siegfried said? Can you tell us what Charlie said? Can you tell us, how about what Catherine said? Can we all know what Catherine said? But Siegfried, has he come back and testified against Catherine? Everyone's like, shh, mentor lawyer. Siegfried needs to get into a room and talk to Catherine and tell her it's okay to tell the truth. How about Siegfried tells the truth? How about Siegfried comes out and says, Catherine is the one who said, it's time to. Charlie says, and it's said a couple times, it said it in the proffer, and it said it on the stand. Charlie said roughed up. How it's still a crime, it's still murder, it's still all of those things. But what if he never said the word? What if he never said it? We don't know because we don't know. Catherine knows, and Catherine won't tell. You know why Catherine won't tell? Because she's trying to play both sides. She's trying to ride two horses with one ass. You can't ride two horses with one ass, Catherine. In her proffer, I'm going too soon on this, but in her proffer, she says Charlie was frantic. Charlie was frantic. She says it twice. Charlie was frantic. She never says Catherine was frantic. I was frantic. I was scared. The police were coming up. Did she ever say Catherine was scared? No. When she was arrested, watch her arrest. It's just like Donna's. Her arrest is so calm. She's like, behind my back, straight-faced. Not, I didn't do it. Not nothing. The only time Catherine shows any franticism is when the bump occurs and she lies to Charlie and says, I'm going to call him. She knew what it was. Sigfredo has not come out against Catherine. Sigfredo loves Catherine. Catherine loves Catherine. I think Catherine was pissed about Charlie going to June. I think she was pissed about all of it. Do I'm saying it's a extortion thing? No. But I think Catherine is a lot deeper in this than Georgia or any of the world is giving her credit for. Maybe they know now, but watch her proffer. When I take all of those filler words out, Siegfried is the one who needs to come out and say, Catherine never deserves to walk free. Catherine is guilty as the rest of them. And everyone's like, when is Catherine going to get a deal? Georgia, when? Well, I have to talk to my boss about that. No, Catherine never deserves to walk free. Not ever, ever, ever. Not ever. Catherine is the problem. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Jay. But Catherine, Al, Catherine, Wendy. She said she never talked to Wendy, and I believe that she never absolutely talked to Wendy. But that Al, when she found out Lewis was in that car, she was pissed. She was pissed because it was only supposed to be Siegfried. And was he supposed to be roughed up? I don't know. But it was only supposed to be Siegfried. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God. She really didn't know Lewis was in the car until she spoke to them, remember? And Lewis says, I heard Catherine. And that's when she realized Lewis was in the car. And oh my God. This woman is knee deep in bullshit. And I hope to God she can never, ever, ever. But they keep saying, she's like on the proffer, but I really want to remember. Please let me remember. I wish you could just put something in my head so I remember. I don't remember. You can't remember, Catherine. You know exactly what happened. You know exactly what happened because you told Siegfried to do what he did. But Siegfried, because he loves you and he loves his kids, will never turn against you. Ever. She is a bitch. She deserves every little second that she gets. And I wish she wasn't in Lowell. It makes me so upset that she's in that lush jail right now. I get very upset, sorry. She's not getting a deal, but Chloe, everyone keeps saying, well, she came and testified against Charlie. Should she get a couple years off? Should she maybe see her children? No, she shouldn't. She should never see her children. Ever, ever. Mizo says, Charlie has not talked crap about Katie at all. So even when Katie was on the stand, in his jail call, he didn't say anything about Katie. He knew Katie was so. She is helping them, but she shouldn't be. But she can't. How do I say it? I'm getting it backwards. She is trying to help both of them, but in the end, she's the one screwing everybody. Oh, yeah, I am. And it's quite hilarious. Do you know that the word okay appears in our proffer 867 times? Was 220 times. I know, was like hundreds of times. I literally start taking out all of those filler words. It was 43 pages long, and it's now 31 pages just in filler. How did she graduate from college? How did she graduate from high school? God, I don't know how involved one could get at night's sleep. I would be so sick. I'm so scared of the place. Aw, Sheila. Well, good to know that you're a good person and you've never had to do it. I think Charlie singled out Katie to date because she knew she had a co-connection and shady people. Could be. I don't know anything about cocaine. She knew the dirty deed was done because Wendy called Charlie. Wendy calls Charlie. Charlie calls mom. All of these people call each other, right? Remember in the court, everyone was calling each other. It was very hard to keep in straight. But Wendy calls Charlie. So that's how she knew. So then Siegfried turns the phone on. They're close to Gainesville. Turn the phone back on. Siegfried calls Katie. Katie says, I know. She finds out Lewis is in the car. No, she is in a lush jail, T. Lowell is lush. Lush is in nice. Nice, they get hair appointments. They get their nails did. She's in a nice jail, prison. She's in prison, but she's in a nice prison. Talk about what went down that one day Katie went to the beach to talk to Wendy. You know, I would really love to know. But the entire proffer, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. And then I was sitting there thinking, oh, you know. Well, we all know she knows. That's all a lie. And of course, the investigators are getting very frustrated with her in the proffer. And this is only proffer part 2 that AA Legal had on. I haven't even touched proffer part 1. But then I thought, who's the one person who hasn't gotten back on the stand to try and get out of jail? Who's the one person that hasn't turned on Katie? Not that Charlie's turned on Katie, but who's the one person that's never mentioned anyone since? Siegfried. I think Siegfried was so duped into this woman. So duped. I don't know why, but he was. And that would be a hell of a conversation. But when Mentor Lawyer says, somehow prosecution needs to work it out to put Catherine in the same room as Siegfried so that Siegfried can give her permission to say how bad of a person Siegfried is, which we all know is true. But I thought, oh no. I don't think so. I think it's Siegfried. You get them in a room, it may not be good. It might be good for prosecution, but it's not going to be. Catherine cannot tell the truth because it buries her deeper into it. Whatever appeal she has going, whatever time, she was hoping maybe Jack Campbell, our DA, would give her, our state attorney here is what it's called, our state attorney some time off. They go to the judge. She's really helped the case. Nope. Don't think it's ever going to happen. I believe so. I believe that was all in those calls in that day. Wrong. Wendy Record didn't show a Charlie at that moment. Rash covered that at trial. Katie told Sig to have Lewis take down his owl pick the night before the hit. Right, but I don't think she knew he was in the car with him. There's a difference. And that whole owl thing is code. I haven't figured it out, but something's going on. It was an owl. He had an owl, and Wendy had an owl on her t-shirt. And somebody said she got it, like, of all places, Banana Republic. Kaylee, that New Zealander dude thinks Wendy gave Katie $5,000 to pay Sigfredo to do that in June. And she didn't want to talk about that. So in her proffer, she literally, like, way out. I don't know. I don't know why they went in June. No one told me anything in June. Nobody knows anything about June. I'm like, you really? To me, those investigators should have got up and walked out. They should have just said, you know what? You're sitting here, and get up and left. I don't even know why they spent, it was like hours of listening to, and I don't know. I guess this guy got a ride. Maybe he doesn't need me. It's 11 o'clock. Hold on. Oh, he says his daughter is coming. Awesome. Good. So this guy I meet at Slim Chickens, he's working there, right? And he's like, so I said, my husband said something about being really cold. And he goes, I have to walk 2 hours. I'm like, what? You're not walking 2 hours home. You'll die. And he goes, well, my daughter might be asleep. I was like, well, I'll take you home. So that's why I'm still here at work, 10 of 11. So praise the Lord, he got a ride home. His daughter's taking him. But the dude was going to walk home. So there's all these people in the world that are evil. And then you meet this guy who's an older man. He's probably my age. So he's an older guy working at Slim Chickens, trying to make ends meet, willing to walk home to be able to have a job. And then you got bums and scammers and liars and thieves. So on that note, I think it's amazing that this guy worked so hard to feed his family that he wanted to walk 2 hours to get home. I thought it was great. So the pic was from Tally, was it? I didn't think the picture was from Tally. I'll have to look at it. I thought it was outside, like when they were driving up here, but I could be wrong. Katie is willing to do anything for Katie. Katie will do anything to protect herself. And that's what I realized when I was reading the proffer. Two-toe, I know, someone said that the last thing. Two-toe is Alan Greek. She didn't give them anything except a waste of the time to drive down to Ocala where Lowell is. Sanford did walk out. They all should have walked out. I know the female tried to, like, she was very kind, and she was like, you know, we really need it to be your opinion, and we really need it to be your perspective. And I'm like, everyone needs to leave. Does no one have children here? Does no one have children where you just like, you know what? When you're ready to talk, we'll come back. But until then, we have nothing to say to you. Why would you give her that much of your time? I mean, I can remember when they were like, we only have 45 minutes left. I'm like, 45 minutes? She said nothing in 45 hours. Couldn't believe it. I think Katie knows more. I think she 100% knows more. I think she absolutely knows more. The owl reference also reminds me of Michael Peterson murder of his wife falling. He proclaimed an owl made her fall down the steps. That's right. You are very, very good, Jay. That case absolutely fascinates the out of me. The Michael Peterson case. Absolutely. That was one of the ones where I was like, first of all, he's weird. He's really weird. He's got those weird, crazy eyes with the weird, crazy eyebrows. And he's definitely not right. Oh, no. I think she's absolutely involved, and I think Katie knows it. Maybe Katie's scared of Wendy. But she knows everything. She's the one person that knows all. Now, she doesn't know what Donna knows, and that frustrated her. Because in the proffer, she would say when Charlie would go talk to his mother, he would leave the room. And it frustrated her that he did not share with her what Mama said or what he said to Mother. So that bothered her very much. I think it bothered her that she was not included in the big family functions as the girlfriend. I think she felt very slighted as the girlfriend. She says it. She said, I was never with the whole family. I met the family, but I was never included in any family function. Wendy absolutely knows more about Katie. Wendy, as far as we know, could have been part of why Katie and Charlie met. But I don't think she has anything to say about Donna. I think the only person she has something to say about is Charlie and Wendy. And maybe there's something where Siegfried's like, you better just figure this out, because if you don't, I'm going to come out. But why is he subpoenaed, but he's never on the stand? He has never, ever, ever testified against any of these people. Why? Anybody? Shanna Gardner is done. She is so dumb. She also doesn't have the sense of a turnip. Michael Pierce has Wendy eyes, but really, his eyes were great, right? Casey Anthony has the same. Well, thank you, T. I do too. Thank you. I got to go too. Too kind of you. Oh, well, I'm so happy for the man. I mean, what kind of work ethic do you have? This woman is not driving or walking 2 hours. I would valet to my office if I could. I hate parking and I hate walking. I know I can't walk, so I praise the Lord I can walk, but I still don't like doing it long distance. And I just thought how amazing that this man was. I was really impressed. Rivera posted and now deleted a photo of an owl on Instagram the day before Markel was shot. He'd been frightened by it, but McVanderman called and demanded he remove it. But that doesn't mean she knew he was going to be in the car, because she says it, and it's when she says it in the proffer, she says it like she really didn't know he was going to be in the car. They were all friends. And he may have known this was going to happen, but I don't believe she knew he was in the car with her. with Siegfried. The prosecution needed Katie to connect to Charlie. But I think that's true. But I think Katie sitting there so innocently in her little prison, I don't know. Yes, you do know. Yeah, you know. And I hate that they're so gentle with her. I hate that they're gentle. Hate it. Siegfried just realizes he doesn't have what it takes and Katie doesn't love him, so money is out there for his kids. Maybe that's it. I will be careful. I'm in my office right now, so I'm fine. What's your final analysis? You know, I wish I knew. I don't know. I think if Wendy keeps stepping in it like she did at that synagogue, she's going to get arrested beforehand. I think she will. But I think they know where she is. She's apparently not going out of the country. Oh, well, thank you, Jay. I mean, I just don't want someone to die in the freezing cold. It is, it's really cold here, like 30 now, which is really cold for skinny people who live in Florida all their lives. Can these people really be in such denial that they actually think they had not been part of it? I want to see if my girlfriend will come on. She was the attorney. She had a really good take on that. Not that I agree with it, but I mean, I don't agree with the mentality, but I think as an attorney, she understood that mentality of protection that I don't have. Yeah, he did. He did. That's true. I think he's scared of Lois. To be honest with you, he should be. So thank you all for watching with me. It's 2.5 hours. I mean, thank you. I'm going to watch it a couple more times. Not tonight, but it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It's 4 degrees. Girl, we don't have that kind of insulation in our homes here. I love this weather so much. I love it. I'm going to go home and cuddle with Roscoe. My husband goes to bed at 8 o'clock. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Roger. You guys this is like party line. I love it so much. Have a great night.